List reports are the simplest type of reports. Here you can see that I'm logged on as a system administrator using a demo system, and you can see that I'm also looking at the reports area of the user screens. Now I've clicked onto the general category. There's a report here called Company List by Type. And I've clicked onto the run arrow, and you can see that it's asking me for a parameter, and the screen is also offering the option to open the report as a PDF file or to export the data to Excel. I've just clicked Go and the report has popped up as an HTML report. This is a basic list report, and you can see that it looks like a formatted spreadsheet and the data is displayed in a simple grid. I've closed the report. Let's look at how we can define our own report, and I'll click Cancel. Now here you can see that I've started to define my report, and I'm in the general category and I want to create a report that will list out opportunities, but I can still get started here with the definition. So I'll click the New button, and I need to give the report a name. And once it has a name, I need to pick the view that we're going to use, and I'll use a custom view that I defined earlier, and that's Custom List Opportunities, and the available columns are immediately added into the screen along with the rest of the report definition fields. And I just need to change the category, and now I can decide on the type of report that this is going to be. And so this is by default, the report is of type list, and so I just need to add some other details. And the option Report Styles allows a different set of styles to be applied to the reports, and it's possible for implementers to create their own custom styles, which can then be made available here. Another lesson covers the editing of report styles. The rows per page controls the number of rows of data in each page that's generated. And these reports allow simple yet powerful filtering to be added into the report. And that's filter by current user, filter by user's primary team, filter by user's home territory. If these are ticked, then it will narrow down the scope of the data returned by the underlying query. The final options here are to do with the availability of the report and its behavior within the screen. Private report. Ticking this means that the report will only be available for the report author. Auto hyperlinking. This only applies to HTML reports, but it will add in a drill down capability. If we click this, then or tick this when clicking onto a person or a company name in the generated report, it will change the main interface to show that record. Show original currency values prevents the display of converted values if the user's running report they don't have the use of the currency defined in the data being displayed. So if they're using euros and the currency is in dollars, then this allows us to control exactly what they see, and select distinct values will prevent duplicate information being returned. I've chosen here auto hyperlinking and to automatically filter by the current user, so only those opportunities assigned to the user running the report will be returned. And I'll select the fields that I want to add into the report, and then I'll add them to the report contents. I can then reorder these columns to display how I want them in the report, and then I can add any criteria that I want to use. Remember, this report is already going to be filtered to only show the opportunities belonging to the user actually running the report. And so I'll add the criteria for the opportunity stage, and the criteria that I want to use has been added into the report. There are other options that we can use, or I can use. We've got the idea of advanced find, add to sort on, add to group by, and add key attribute data. Now, if you add a column to group by, then the report results will be grouped by that column. You don't need to include this column in the report contents because group by will create its own column as the first left-hand column of the list report. The group by columns determine the primary sort order. As you can see, we can also have the option to add in sort order columns, and these determine the sort order within the group if there is a group. The report will be sorted first by the column at the top of the list and then by the next column after that. If we choose Advanced Find, then this adds an extra step into the report definition, and we can see this now if I click Continue. You can see that we've been presented with an interface similar to that used to define Advanced Find searches, and this is where you can define complex clauses, again designed to restrict the rows returned in the report. Now I'm going to return to the previous screen. There's a separate lesson on building advanced finds. I'll look next at the key attributes screen, and I've clicked the option, and you can see here that we have the possibility to add data that may be defined in key attribute categories that can be used in either the report output or within the search criteria. The definition and use of key attributes is covered in other lessons. For now, I'm going to close this window. Once I have my columns and my search criteria defined, I can continue to the next screen. We can see here that we can define a default value for the search criterion used in our report. And I'm going to skip this and click Continue. I need to give the report a title, and we can add in additional presentational information onto the screen. This can include grand totals, that's the summary settings option, or we can opt to have the header and footer include a logo or page number. I've chosen to add the grand totals and the logo, and this logo will point to a file that needs to be added into the system by the system administrator. And we can choose to alter the sort order of the fields, or we can alter the formatting of the columns as well. Now, the report allows functions to be added into the columns to produce some additional information. If the column is numeric, then this would include the sum or the average as well. Now, I've happened to add a count to the company name, as this is a text field. And at the bottom of the screen, we have the option to add in a chart. And here I've added in the definitions for a pie chart that will show graphically the number of opportunities at each stage. And I've used the count of the opportunity description and used the different stages as the slices of my pie. I've made the chart available for use in chart gadgets within the interactive dashboard, and I can now save the report definition. And so this report is available within the sales category. I'm going to log on and run the report as a sales manager. I need to get into the reports area, and specifically within the sales category, where I can see the new report simple opportunities list. And so if I start to run this, it prompts me to enter in a search criteria, but then I go on and report runs displaying the charts as defined. At the top of the report, I can click to view the next page. This displays the tabular layout of the list report.